Me versus you and you know they picking. Cheap and expensive, you know the difference. You know that it's hitting, you know what it's giving. Hair, nails, bare. I can survive in the coldest conditions. Hoes very low, they told me they spinning. This is wash, soap in the dishes.
Welcome and welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Showtime with Jazz. As you guys read by the title, today we are here with another Young and Reckless review. So before we get any further, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn your post notifications on so you can notify when I upload for you guys. Follow me on all of my social medias linked in the description bar down below. If you haven't checked out my previous reviews for the season thus far, make sure you guys go check them out. I would make a playlist for all of the Young and Reckless reviews probably at the end of the season. Don't forget to hype up this video. It costs $0.00 and it only takes a couple of seconds of your time. It helps me out. So let's just get into this review because your girl is on the time crunch. I am filming this late Monday night. Today we're going to be reviewing Young and Reckless season 4 episode 5, Stand on It or Get Stood On. So we are picking back up with Sav and A-Rod coming downstairs to fight Dior and Nugg. Nugg really doesn't want to fight Sav from the looks of it because every time Sav has tried to initiate the fight or Sav is just in close proximity of her, besides the first time she walked into Sav's room, she's been throwing water. She just squirted ketchup on Sav. And it's just like, all of that is not going to equate to the get back of her throwing hot oatmeal in your face on Andre Keep It a Bean Wing live show that he do for the girls. She said that she kicked Nugg in the head down the steps. Mind you, the first 5-ish minutes of this episode, the last 5-6 minutes of episode 4 is the beginning of episode 5. But anyway, we pick up with Houdini versus Zaniyah. So round 1, Houdini got that one. But it was a lot of grabbing going on. Zaniyah grabbed Houdini and then Houdini started grabbing Zaniyah. Houdini was able to get some uppercuts in and then she ended up getting Zaniyah on the ground. But as soon as Zaniyah hit the ground, they told security to break it up. And I feel like if they wouldn't have broke it up that fast, Houdini would have been able to do more with Zaniyah on the ground. So in the midst of that, Zaniyah talking about oh, I'm done. Let's get back to this meeting and then we can fight again. Houdini wants to keep fighting. Zaniyah's talking about she's out of breath. She can't breathe. Now, this is where like it's a hit or miss with Zaniyah because one, when it was her fighting Kayla and Hennessy, she wanted to go rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds. She never complained about being out of breath. She never complained about having asthma. She never complained about any of that. But I feel like since Houdini gave her some type of work, it's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this one so easily. So with that, she feels as though she needs to kind of reset herself, give herself some time to come up with a game plan, a strategy when it comes to her fighting Houdini. Zaniyah was doing a lot of stuff, thinking she's hosting stuff, and it's like, no, girl, get back in the field. Round 2 happens. It really was a swing, miss, swing, hit. Like they were doing a lot, but Zaniyah connected this one good right hook, and that's why everybody feel like she won. I feel like it was a tie for the most part, but Zaniyah did get that one good right hook. She just didn't beat Houdini. You got Cash in the confessionals talking extremely too much about why Houdini stood up when it was like everybody stood up. Every time somebody starts fighting on Nowthatstv, everybody stops what they're doing. If they're sitting down, they're going to stand up because security is going to be in the way. So they're going to try to see the fight and see what's going on. She just stood up just like everybody else. The next thing we see is Lauren telling y'all need to stand on what y'all said or I'm going to put it out on the table for y'all. She was mainly talking about Star because y'all know last episode in the van, Star was talking hot about she felt a type of way about Bonnie saying what she said when she first came in there. Mind you, it's a whole day later. And I'm not gonna lie, watching a couple of reviews and like people on TikTok talk about it, they made me peep something that I think a lot of us didn't really peep the first go around. But now that people are saying it, when you rewatch it back, it's like, oh, that makes sense. If y'all remember when Bonnie came in, Arver introduced her as like, this is who she brought on the season. When Bonnie came in and said what she said, nobody said anything everything besides Pam. Pam only said something because she couldn't get to Legacy, so she decided to take it out on Bonnie. That was the only person who stood on business. The rest of them felt a type of way about it, but since they thought Ivory was cool with the girl, they decided to be mute until Ivory got on that van and said that she didn't know the girl they had just met right before they walked in. Everybody was like, that's why a lot of them didn't say nothing, because they thought she was Ivory's friend and they didn't want to have an issue with Ivory by checking Bonnie. When people started saying that, I was like, oh wait, that makes complete sense, because Ivory's not there at the moment, and so now all of a sudden everybody got a problem and everybody's speaking their mind when it comes to what Bonnie said, how she said it. I really don't know why they got this thought in their head. They feel as though Bonnie came in on that. She should have picked a random person to get in the field with, and it's just like, no, she said what she said. Nobody stood on nothing. Nobody said anything to her besides Pam, but that was like at the end of the night. So the rest of y'all waited until hours later to feel a type of way about it. Y'all had to sit on it and think about it. So Caribbean called herself trying to check Bonnie. Bonnie definitely was standing on everything she said, and she was like, okay, and like doing this hand movement. Caribbean was like, okay, and what? And she was like, okay, and like what we're gonna do about it. Instead of Caribbean getting out in the field, she asked Star was she gonna fight her. And so Star was like, yeah. Mind you, Star was quiet. Star wasn't arguing. Star didn't say anything. A-Rod also mentioned that she did feel away. It was kind of corny. That whole group B side, that's Nugg and them, just been doing a little too much the whole time. Star, she let them put a battery in her back to fight Bonnie. Regardless if y'all thought it was corny or not, y'all didn't say anything at that moment. Bonnie didn't have to pick nobody out. If y'all felt the type of way when she first said it, y'all should have just got on that. Bonnie versus Star, the first round, they really both can't fight, but I'll give it to Bonnie. But the way that group of girls talk about each other, like those group of newbies, so it's like Star, Dymond, Cash, Pam, all the girls who are in the outhouse, they are very delusional when it comes to all of them fighting. Dymond, before Bonnie and Star fought, she was like, oh yeah, my about to whoop your ass now. And it's like, she didn't though. And then they kept making it seem like Star whooped Bonnie, and I'm just so confused because Star, in fact, did not whoop Bonnie. It was embarrassing. So then, round two, Bonnie got that one. She ended up getting Star on the ground. But once again, once they hit the ground, they immediately broke it up in the midst of that happening. Because before the second round happened, Zaniyah decided to check JG about why she stood up and if they was gonna jump Nugg or not. JG said, no, I wasn't gonna jump her, but I heard she was looking for me because I'm Sav's friend. In my opinion, JG should never explain nothing to her. If you felt like I was gonna jump her, then you should just be ready to jump. Why y'all pressing to see if a was gonna jump Nugg or not? If she would have got jumped, if that's your just hop in the fight. These last couple episodes, Zaniyah just been aggravating me because it's like everybody stood up if they wasn't already standing up. So you are only mad at the people who you know that is cool with Sav, and since y'all don't with her, y'all are trying to make an issue with her friends. But group B is very, very weird. So then we have Minnie versus Nugg. They only went one round. At the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, it looked like Nugg was definitely working Minnie, but once that wig came off and they showed the other angle from like Minnie's point of view, you can definitely see Minnie was macking Nugg. And then once she started doing them uppercuts on Nugg, it was like, I knew it was kind of over. This is the best Minnie has fought against Nugg ever. Minnie definitely got that. After the fight, Nugg proceeds to rub her face because a knot is on her eye. And so then the medic is like looking at her. He's like, let me see. And as they're walking away, he was like, yeah, you definitely got a knot. So he's in the bathroom trying to help Nugg out by giving her some ice and stuff like that, telling her she got a knot. She's telling some, I don't have no knot. I don't see no knot. It ain't no knot there. The medic says, so you don't see it? And she telling some, no, I don't see it. I don't have no knot. She decides to pull her scarf all the way down and tie her scarf up super tight over the knot so she can hide the knot. That girl is delusional because in her confessional, she's talking about some, oh yeah, I really worked her and she just whooped Minnie. And it's just like, no, you did not whoop Minnie. We got A-Rod versus Dior again. A-Rod is one of my favorites this season. Out of all of the new girls, she's definitely my favorite. She has made an impact. Her, Houdini, and Marmar are my three favorite newbies on Young and Reckless so far. A-Rod in her confessional was popping her shit. She said, yeah, she about to whoop this And if A-Raw learned how to fight with her head up instead of like immediately dropping her head and just windmilling and swinging wild, she'll be able to do better than she's doing when it comes to fighting. Their fight was whack once again. A-Raw was able to get like 2 good hits and she ended up punching Dior into the wall. A-Raw ended up flipping Dior over, but they broke it up immediately once Dior got on the ground, and Dior started showing her titties, calling A-Raw ugly, which we know that is a lie. A-Raw was calling her a dirty because she showed her titties after the fight. Like, it was just a lot going on. A-Raw ended up leaking from under her eye because Dior scratched her, and Dior was like, yeah, got you leaking, and then proceeds to talk about, well, I didn't have you leaking, but Caribbean did. And it's like, A-Raw is right. Why every time you and her get into it, you're bringing up Caribbean? You're not Caribbean. Oh, speaking of Caribbean, why after Zaniyah and Houdini fought, she gonna say something? Houdini wasn't going, but she's not with Zaniyah. They both won a round, so how is she not with Zaniyah? Next, we got Marmar versus Cash. Marmar said, I'm not with all the sneaking, so I went up to the bitch. Come on, let's fight. Because Cash got on Instagram properly and made it seem like Marmar was trying to steal the girl wig or wanted the girl wig so bad that she ripped it up on some hating shit. And Marmar said, no, unfortunately, I'm not a wig girl. I'm a leave out type of girl. I said, I know that's right. I definitely respect Marmar for tapping her on the shoulder and telling her to come on. Marmar and her right hand go together so bad because they got that. She was punching Cash so hard. Cash head was bobbing so bad. What made it worse was every time Marmar threw a punch and it landed, they were saying, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I just know Cash felt defeated because not only are you getting your ass whooped, but the whole house is commentating on you getting your ass whooped. Marmar ends up slamming Cash on the ground once Cash wig came off. She was about to start pounding on her, but they end up breaking it up. In the process of them breaking it up, Cash put her fingers in Marmar's mouth. Marmar bit her finger because she said, keep your fingers out of my mouth, which is rightfully so. Stop doing that. And then be surprised when somebody bites y'all. They put them on lockdown because, you know, once everything gets too rowdy for Nowthatstv, they love to put on lockdown. JG is walking to the room minding her business. Nugg, out of nowhere, sneaks JG and security breaks it up immediately. Her reasoning was because that's Sav's friend. She said, go take that sneak back to your friend. This is what I mean when I say Nugg doesn't really want to fight Sav, because the same way she do to Minnie, when she want to get to Minnie, she makes sure she gets to Minnie. The same way she just snuck JG, she could always get Sav that way. When the fans don't like her for the stuff that she does, it's all of a sudden, I don't care what the fans think while she's filming. Once the episodes start coming out, Nugg definitely hates when the fans don't like her. Zaniyah is upstairs huffing, puffing, and crying, wanting to fight Houdini again, talking about she can't breathe, she's mad as You're mad and you can't breathe, but yet you're screaming, wanting to fight again. Get your breath. Go on lockdown, please. Like, just go rest. You didn't feel satisfied enough with your win, so that's why you want to fight her again. She started doing the most. She's downstairs. She walks into a random room with random. She don't even know who's in the room. First girl she sees, she starts swinging on them. They get to fighting for a little bit. Turns out it was Dymond. Dymond did end up wanting to fight Zaniyah because you came into my room and snuck me. It's funny because Dymond was just cheering her on when she was fighting Houdini, just to turn around and get punched by the same she was just cheering on. Zaniyah did say she felt bad, but when she's mad, you need to lock yourself in the room. Don't be in her way. But she ended up breaking the TV right then and there. I feel like they should have sent her home because she started doing entirely too much. She told us she can't breathe. She having an asthma attack. But yeah, she's screaming, hollering, and trying to fight everybody in the house. They get in the vans after they are off of lockdown. They're about to go and do something. Sav is walking up to the van that Nugg is in, and Nugg decides to throw iced coffee on Sav. Sav started spazzing because they wouldn't let her get to Nugg. The beef with Nugg and Sav is getting old very fast. Is because when Nugg was on that type of timing, when she walked into Sav's room, Sav was ready, but she wasn't ready to fight. But every time since then, when Nugg has done something to her, she has been ready to get in the field. Nugg claims she be ready to fight Sav, but yet when everything is said and done, Nugg either go missing, Sav either go missing. Why are you steady throwing instead of just fighting her. I just feel like it's because Sav got her weight up and she don't know if she could take the new Sav. When I say Sav was spazzing out on her, she was talking about how bad she is built. And Nowthatstv is messy because they showed Nugg in the van, like her body and stuff, and her thong showing. And it's just like, Nowthatstv is very, very messy. But Sav did make some good points. Every time she be having stuff, they be ready to shake her room down, do the most when it comes to her. But every time it's Nugg, she be having ready to go. Because how did she get ketchup? Nugg really think that Young and Reckless is her and it's only because Ivory is not there. Then we got Pam talking about Sav. Once again, that whole group B don't like Sav because they're followers of Nugg. And this episode proved it to the fullest extent. The only person who have a mind of their own is Lauren. And I definitely respect Lauren for that. Pam talking about she let Nugg throw day old iced coffee on her and ain't do nothing about it. Mind you, we see Sav spazzing and wanting to get to her. She did say she wanted to stab the whole, but also Nugg got out the man and said, "Oh, y'all can see me home because I'll kill because we could take it to the streets." Like, they're both threatening each other. So at this point, I feel like they should have just let them fight and get it out the way. Nugg is excited, talking something. That's how you do it. That's Young and Reckless. This is how you do it. Talking to her van as if they supposed to take notes about you throwing food, drinks on people. Sav talk about how Nugg be heavily editing her body on Instagram, which we all know that to be true because the Nugg we see on Instagram, the face is the same, but the body is not. They end up getting into the tattoo parlor. They are going to do a challenge with Ivory's team versus Sav team. Y'all remember they picked them at the end of episode 1. They had to go in and get the Young and Reckless tattoo. Whoever team loses has to select 2 girls to go home. Everybody basically got tattoos except for Lauren. But in the process of them getting a tattoo, Zaniyah sitting down, Dymond sitting next to her, and they talk about what happened earlier. Zaniyah says she feels sorry and she do feel bad about what she did because she do like Dymond. But earlier in her confessional, she said she whooped the Dymond was like, you know what? I understand as long as it's not no weird I just was very disappointed in Dymond. It's just like, if that was Legacy, you would have been on that. Y'all would have to fight and fight and fight and fight again. You let that girl sneak you and claim that she whooped you to accept her apology. I wanted Dymond to at least say, hey, we could be cool after this, but we definitely got to run our ones because you snuck me for no reason. And I do feel a type of way. So they get back to the house. All the girls except for Lauren ended up getting a tattoo. So Ivory team lost. Ivory's not here. So Nugg starts off the vote by saying she wanted Minnie to go. So all of them except for Nay and Lauren. Nay wanted Pam to go and Lauren said Nay to go. She wanted Nay voted out. And so when Lauren said Nay, Nugg said who? And Lauren said exactly. And that's my whole point. They had to pick somebody off their team to go home. So it's not like they're picking from Sav's team to go home. It's everybody who's on Ivory's team. It's out of those people. Minnie got put up for elimination. Nugg starts it off. She says Bonnie. The rest of them follow suit. Lauren says Nay again, the only logical one. And Nay says Pam. So Bonnie and Minnie, they get eliminated from the competition. From that team, I feel like Pam and Nay should have went home. Because one, we haven't heard anything from Nay. She gives us nothing, literally. She's just a background character at this point. And Pam, we ain't hear nothing from Pam since episode 2 or 3 after she fought Legacy. We know why they voted. And like I said, Group B is just a whole bunch of followers besides Lauren. Placements are C Rose and Baby Tyson, and immediately C Rose and Lauren got on that. And I'm gonna say next episode definitely looks lit. From the looks of it, it looks like Lauren was taking C Rose to a place she didn't want to go. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much it for this review. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn your post notifications on so you get notified when I upload for you guys. Follow me on all of my social medias. They are linked in the description bar down below. Don't forget to hype up this video. It costs $0.00 and it takes a couple of seconds. I would greatly appreciate that, and it helps me out. And until next time, I'll see you guys.
I can survive in the coldest conditions. Hoes very low, they told me they spin. This is wash, soap in the dishes. I apply pressure like boa constrictors. One bitch, two bitch, old bitch, new bitch. None of y'all bitches not gon' do shit.